Thank you to our media partners for coming out in the rain today, and to everyone who's watching today. We do have a unique Wednesday morning press conference this morning, and we've all heard Lieutenant Crum talk about the fact that as we count homicide numbers, there's a person behind each one of those numbers. There's a community member that we've lost. There's a family member to be mourned. So we come here today on this rainy morning to both remember and revisit such a case from last year. Lieutenant Crum?
Thank you. It's been a year since we lost Jennifer Banner, a valued member of our community. She was last seen on October 14th, 2019 in the 400 block of West Craighead Road. Her remains were found here in the 3100 block of Freedom Drive, just outside the shoe warehouse, on October 16th, 2019. She'd been wrapped in a towel and then in a tarp. She was discarded as if she didn't mean anything to the people that care about her, love her, and miss her. So we know that, or we believe that she was brought here in a vehicle. We know that people who are involved in incidents like this typically engage in post-event behavior, such as disposing of a vehicle suddenly, making repairs to a vehicle that are unexpected, or perhaps deep cleaning of a vehicle at odd hours of the day or night. The individual that is involved with this may also have gone missing suddenly after Jennifer's discovery on the 18th of October. I should also add that the day she went missing, if it helps people to recall, was the 16th was Columbus Day in 2019. So we don't believe that this was a random act. We believe that the person or persons involved with this are likely familiar with this area or the area Jennifer was last seen in off of Craighead. We have been collaborating with other law enforcement agencies over the past year to continue to work to leverage our combined resources to attempt to bring closure to this case, to find out what happened to Jennifer. We're reluctant to discuss details of the exact resources that we're able to use, but I can tell you that there is nothing that we will not use in order to try to resolve this case. Some of those techniques that have been made available to us are cutting-edge DNA technologies such as familial DNA and genealogic DNA. These tools, we are convinced, will help us to develop new leads that we will continue to aggressively pursue. Every day we continue to get information from our community, and we're continuing to ask for that information today. That's part of the reason we're here for you, or in front of you, is asking you to come forward with that information. We know that there are people in the community that have information about this case that have not yet come forward. Sometimes people are hesitant to come forward with this information because they may have a relationship with a person that could potentially be involved. They may fear for their safety, or perhaps they don't believe that their information is significant enough to merit calling us. I can tell you there is no information that is insignificant, no matter how small. So as always, we're asking our community to come forward with that information, to contact us. You can call us at 704-432-TIPS or our Crime Stopper line at 704-336-1600. We don't need your name, we just need your information. We also have brought the image of Miss Jennifer, as well as her shirt. This is the shirt that she was last seen wearing. It says, "Follow your dream." We're going to send those images out to you guys electronically, and we ask people that if they believe they saw Jennifer at any point on Columbus Day in 2019 that they contact us. Does anybody, I can answer a few questions for you guys right now.
Why are you guys doing this right now?
So it's been a year, or just over a year, and you know, every case that we have, like Lieutenant Fishback said, has a family behind it, has a victim behind it. And you know, from time to time, we want to come back to the community and ask for help. It's been a year, and we think that you know, it's time that we bring some resolution to this case and figure out what happened to Jennifer.
Have you gotten any leads or tips that have gotten you any closer to finding this person?
We have. We've gotten some leads that have been helpful. The community's come forward. We've identified people we've gone to talk to. I'd be hesitant not to call them suspects, but just leads that we followed up on. But we obviously haven't gotten that lead that's closed the case, so we still need more information.
So what makes you believe that the person who was possibly involved in her death suddenly disappeared?
Typically, that's a behavior that we would see, right? When somebody, when something happened, an event happens, and suddenly something changes, like the discovery of Jennifer's remains, people will typically become nervous and they'll leave. They'll go somewhere else for a period of time to lay low in the event that they think the police are pursuing them or something like that.
Hey, Brian, if you don't mind, we'll talk to it later. We just hit number 100 this year.
Yep.
And I don't want to take away from this case. We will report it, but I do have to ask you about the latest homicide, one overnight in Belmont, and then one this morning up in North Charlotte. What do you know about those and this grim milestone we achieved again?
Sure, and again, 100 people, that's a lot of people. And that's troubling for us as detectives. That's troubling for us as community members to see that we've lost 100 community members this year. I can't really get into any of the details of the two cases right now because it is so early in the investigation. I can tell you that our homicide squads are all in working, pursuing leads in those investigations. Hopefully we'll have something to share with you guys later. But we know that each one of those cases is somebody's family member, somebody's loved one, and we're going to do our best to resolve all of them.
Well, on that same note, is there anything that you guys need to prevent this? I'm sure you guys aren't happy about this either. You're doing the best you can, but they're still happening. What do you do?
The department, the community, the Cure Violence Initiative, I think, is something that we're starting to get moving on through the community or the county. At this point, we'll try anything new. I think that what we're doing. Obviously, we have 100 murders this year. One is too many. So anything that we can do to prevent even just one of those is worth trying.
Cure Violence is new for the city?
It's a new county program that they're getting up and running with. So, and then the department has the Envision Academy. There's numerous other programs. I think Lieutenant Fishback can push to you, but we're continuing to try new things to reach out to people that are potentially involved in violent acts before it happens.
Do you know what number of homicide Miss Jennifer and Banner was last year?
I can get that to you. So it's hard to keep up with the numbers. So it's Miss Jennifer, and that's how we know her.
Yeah. When you talk about Jennifer's case last year and now the 1-year mark, and it's kind of seeing how the city has been this year, what is the message kind of for solving this case but stopping the others from happening?
So with regard to solving cases, our message is that we don't do this in a vacuum. A lot of people see CSI, think that there's a magic button, there's a piece of evidence that we can process. The reality is that we solve cases because our community partners with us. People come and tell us what they know, what they saw, no matter how insignificant, and that's what directly leads to us being able to clear these cases. With regard to preventing them, I just ask people that as a community, we've got to come together to do something to intervene when we see somebody headed down a potentially violent path. We've got to do something to help this because we can't keep losing community members like this.
Hitting 100 just today, what do you think is so different about this year? What has changed in Charlotte that this virus has increased so much?
I don't know that anything's changed. I think it's more of the same as that people are resorting to firearms instead of resolving their issues in other ways. And I don't know. I don't know. I wish I had a good answer for you because if we did, I think we'd have an easy solution in how to stop this.
All right, we do have another active case that Lieutenant Crum needs to go through. So we'll take one more question for the lieutenant at this time.
On Jennifer's case, have you all been in touch with the family? What's kind of the message for the family here?
I think obviously they miss Jennifer. It's been a year that they've been without her, and that's a huge. That's really tough for them. I know they've struggled with it. And so as they try to kind of understand what happened, I mean, they'd like answers, they'd like closure. And so I think that's the biggest message is they want us to try to figure out what happened to Jennifer so that, it doesn't bring her back, but it can hopefully lead to some closure for them. Thank you, guys.
Okay, thank you, Lieutenant. Okay, so we heard it. We need the help from the community in solving this case. We're utilizing all the resources we have available to us, but we need your help. Snag that community officer that you see driving by that you're familiar with. Call in the Crime Stoppers. Call out to that family friend who's a police officer you've known for years. Get us the information that's going to help bring about justice for Miss Banner. We're getting a lot of questions in terms of how we can prevent further cases from going on. We have a list of community programs that the police department puts on and partners with the community, stemming from juveniles all the way up. If you want that document, that list of programs, just shoot me an email today. I don't want to take anything more away from the Banner case. So at this time, if you have any additional questions, meet with me online, and I'll get that information to you today as we can. Again, thank you for coming out in the elements today as we remember and revisit this case. Thank you.